Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're focusing on a really radical concept that's shaped so much thinking for decades. Forget all the external stuff for a moment, opportunities, networking, timing. What if the key to unlocking, extraordinary success, health, happiness? What if it wasn't something out there? What if it was a hidden miracle working power that's already inside your own mind?
It's a complete shift in focus, isn't it? We've gone deep into the work of Joseph Murphy, especially his big one, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Right.
And his core message is it's profound. He's saying your habitual thoughts, the images you hold in your mind, they don't just reflect your life.
They create it.
They literally mold, fashion, and create your reality.
So our mission today is to take that blueprint, which, promises to lift you out of confusion and failure, and pull out the simple, usable techniques. We want to know not just what this power is, but how specifically we can actually use it.
Right. And his whole premise is built on answering these huge, nagging questions we all have. Why does one person seem to have it all, they're happy and successful, while another, with the same chances, is just miserable?
Why does one person get sick and another stays healthy?
Exactly. And for Murphy, the answer is what he calls the master secret of the ages. The difference is entirely in how you understand and control the relationship between your conscious and your subconscious mind.
That relationship, he says, dictates your entire destiny.
So to start, let's define that relationship. You have one mind, but it functions on two very distinct levels.
Yeah.
First, there's the conscious mind. That's the rational, objective level.
That's the part of you that's thinking, reasoning, learning from your five senses. It's the gatekeeper.
Is the gatekeeper. And then there's the subconscious mind. Murphy calls this the irrational, subjective, and this is the important part, the creative mind.
That word irrational always trips me up a little. Does that mean it's like illogical?
That's a great question. It's better to think of it as non-rational. The subconscious doesn't reason or debate like the conscious mind does. It just accepts whatever the conscious mind gives it, whether it's true or false. It's like a perfect, tireless servant that immediately starts to execute the plan.
So the conscious mind is planting the seeds, and the subconscious is the fertile soil. If I plant seeds of fear, the subconscious doesn't judge the seed. It just grows it.
Exactly. It's the seed of your emotions, the source of all creative power. If you habitually think good thoughts, hold positive images, your subconscious starts building good outcomes. If you hold on to anxiety or a sense of lack,
Yeah.
well, that's the blueprint it's going to follow.
And this brings us right to the core of the whole thing, the law of belief. When he talks about belief, it's not about believing in some superstition or good luck charm.
No, not at all. It's about believing in the way your own mind works. That's the key takeaway here. Your life experiences, your conditions, your events, they are just the reactions of your subconscious to your thoughts. So you aren't believing in some external thing, you're believing with your mind. And that confidence is what brings results.
I love the analogy he uses of the magnetized man. You take a piece of steel, and when it's magnetized, it can lift, 12 times its own weight. A magnetized person is just full of confidence. They know they're born to win.
But the demagnetized man, he's full of fears and doubts, he's afraid to move forward, so he just stays stuck. And he often has the same talent, the same resources, but his inner dialogue, the seeds he's planting, is all about failure and lack.
So what is it that demagnetizes a person? Is it just general doubt or a specific kind of internal script?
It's the constant negative self-talk. It's a mental law, just like gravity is a physical law. You combine hydrogen and oxygen, you always get water. It's a principle. Well, the mental principle is whatever you consistently impress on your subconscious must be expressed externally. It's a non-negotiable law.
Which leads us right to the control mechanism suggestion. Our subconscious is always open to influence, both from others and from ourselves.
Right. From others, it's heterosuggestion. From ourselves, autosuggestion. And the conscious mind is the filter. It has to accept the suggestion first. And that's where we get into trouble. We often fail to filter out really destructive ideas. Murphy gives this just a terrifying example of this.
You're talking about the crystal gazer story.
I am. A man, perfectly healthy, goes to a crystal gazer who predicts he has a bad heart and will die at the next new moon. And the man accepted it completely. He became obsessed with the fear. His doctor told him he was fine, but it didn't matter. He had already accepted the sentence.
And he died exactly when predicted, not from a heart condition, but because his mind made it real.
Precisely. His constant fear became the command, and his subconscious, which controls the body, executed the destructive order. It just shows that an accepted suggestion can be more powerful than physical reality.
Wow. That really makes you rethink every negative thing you've ever told yourself. We hear so much of that from childhood. You can't do that. You'll fail. You're too old now.
Yeah.
And if we accept those, they just sink in and become these limiting patterns.
And that's why autosuggestion, self-suggestion, is so critical. It's the therapy to counteract all that negative conditioning. Think about the college professor whose life was falling apart. Health, reputation, everything. He realized his subconscious blueprint was one of chaos.
So he had to create a new major premise, a new fundamental truth to replace the old one.
He chose, "Infinite intelligence leads and guides me in all my ways." He repeated it slowly, with feeling, and over time that new instruction filtered through and his whole life began to change.
We see that same internal battle in the story of the great opera singer Enrico Caruso. He had this debilitating stage fright. His throat would literally seize up.
And he realized it was a battle inside himself. He would shout, "The little me wants to strangle the big me within." The little me was the conscious fear, the anxiety. The big me was the incredible creative power of his subconscious.
And he used self-command. He basically told the little me to get out, allowing the big me, that limitless power, to be released. It's how he sang some of the most glorious performances of his career. It shows you sometimes
Right.
need that aggressive command.
Right. So since the subconscious accepts your mental picture as the blueprint, the next logical step is, how do we actually talk to it? We have the theory, now we need the actionable steps.
This is a part of the deep dive that can sometimes get dismissed as wishful thinking, but these techniques are very specific. Let's start with the big one, visualization.
Visualization is huge because the subconscious responds so readily to pictures. Murphy's very clear. A mental picture is worth 1,000 words. When you hold a vivid image in your mind and you back it with faith, the feeling that it's already happening, it has to manifest.
The classic example is the young medical student with no money. Instead of focusing on his lack, he visualized his diploma. Every night, he'd imagine a framed diploma with his name on it hanging on his office wall for months.
And the result didn't come through some logical path. The doctor he was working for, who knew nothing about this ritual, just offered to pay his way through medical school. The subconscious found the way because the conscious mind gave it the perfect blueprint.
Okay, next up is a gentler one, the passing over technique. This sounds like it requires more surrender than command.
It absolutely does. It's about getting into a relaxed, almost reverie-like state where effort is at a minimum. You calmly think about what you want, you see it as already done, and then you just let it go. It requires a kind of childlike simplicity to really work.
Like the little girl with the bad cough, she wasn't told to do anything complicated.
That's right. She just quietly repeated, "It is passing away now," over and over. Her simple faith just bypassed all the rational doubt and allowed her subconscious to accept the immediate healing.
Which brings us to maybe the most famous one for minimizing effort, the Baudouin technique. This one is all about the state right before sleep.
Yes, that drowsy state is key because your conscious mind's critical filter, that gatekeeper, is lowered. The technique is to boil your desire down into a short, simple phrase and repeat it over and over like a lullaby as you fall asleep.
So the power is in the gentle repetition, not in forcing the feeling.
Exactly. Like the young woman who was stuck in that bitter family lawsuit. It was causing her so much stress. She used this technique, just repeating the phrase, "It is finished in divine order," every night. She did it until the feeling of peace took over. The next morning, she got a call. An unexpected harmonious settlement. It was done.
And the last one we have to cover is the thank you technique. This is about practicing gratitude before you see the result.
This is one of the most powerful emotional tools. When you make your requests with praise and thanksgiving, you're aligning your emotions with the outcome. A thankful heart is already in a state of abundance, which just accelerates the process.
Let's talk about Mr. Broke. He was worried, stressed about bills, no resources. His mind was just full of debt. How did he apply gratitude to a situation where there was nothing, materially, to be thankful for?
He deliberately repeated, "Thank you, Father, for my wealth." But he didn't just say the words. He worked to cultivate the feeling of genuine thankfulness until it became stronger than his fear. And the results were almost immediate. He ran into a former boss who offered him a great job and a loan to get back on his feet.
So let's move from these mental techniques to the hard evidence of this power at work, specifically in our bodies and in science. Murphy really stresses that the subconscious controls every vital function of your body.
It's the body's master healer. Murphy himself talks about resolving a sarcoma, which is a skin malignancy, by giving his subconscious a new, perfect idea of health.
And his method was just an affirmation. He would say it aloud for 5 minutes a few times a day. He'd affirm that the healing presence inside him was transforming every atom, making him whole and perfect now. He provided the blueprint, and the inner builder got to work.
And this isn't some new idea. Think about Dr. James Esdale, a Scottish surgeon in India back in the 1840s. Between 1843 and 1846, he did 400 major operations, including amputations, using only the subconscious power of his patients.
This was before modern anesthesia. He was basically using hypnotic suggestion to command the patient's mind to feel no pain. That's incredible physiological control.
It proves the point. The subconscious has total control over the body. And later, Dr. Bernheim in France showed he could induce symptoms, a sneeze, paralysis, even a blister, just with suggestion. He proved that the mind's accepted idea is the master key.
So if it's that powerful over the body, what about solving huge problems in the outside world, like in science and engineering? This isn't just for healing, it's for genius-level innovation.
Absolutely. The subconscious, because it's connected to this sort of infinite intelligence, it knows the answers. The greatest minds learned how to ask it for help.
Nikola Tesla is the perfect example. He was this brilliant innovator who built his inventions entirely in his imagination first.
He used his subconscious like a perfect simulation engine. He'd hold the mental picture of a machine, and his subconscious would test it, perfect it, and show him every part needed. He didn't need physical prototypes. He just gave his technicians the finished working product because his mind had already built it.
And then there's the famous chemist Friedrich von Stradonitz. He was stuck for months on the benzene formula as a huge roadblock for chemistry.
So he consciously turned the problem over to his subconscious. He just asked for the answer. And while he was relaxing, he had this sudden vision, a dream image of a snake biting its own tail. That symbol, that image from his subconscious, gave him the answer, the circular benzene ring.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you listening? We have the two minds, the law that governs them, and the techniques to communicate our desires.
The crucial lesson really is this. Your only job is to watch your conscious thoughts and consistently feed your mind with true, constructive, harmonious ideas. Your subconscious is always lifeward. It's always trying to create harmony, health, and peace. It's the builder of your body and the shaper of your reality.
The power you're looking for to change any circumstance. It's not outside of you, it's within you. If you change your habitual thoughts, the beliefs you impress on your inner mind, you literally change your destiny. The goal is to fully commit to what you affirm and believe to be true about yourself right now.
And to connect this to the biggest picture, Murthy argues that your future, based on your current habitual thinking, is already written. It's in the script of your subconscious. So if you could peek into the future, if you could see the headlines of tomorrow's news about your career, your health, your life, what new major premise, what new fundamental truth would you feel compelled to impress upon your subconscious mind starting today? That one decision holds everything.